Good morning. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about the drugs that you can use for mental health disorders. We have discussed some of these before, and I actually take fluoxetine 60 milligrams a day. It relieves my symptoms probably about 20%. If I'm not on it, then my OCD and my Tourette, all the other things, everything starts to go a little bit haywire. However, I have been looking into, as you might have seen with the last videos, healthy diet, reducing things that are very unhealthy for your mind and your mental health. And doing some research on the pharmaceutical companies, which is really big business out there, I found some interesting and quite shocking results. I knew some time ago that they'd been pushing to look into hallucinogenics and those sorts of drugs. Those are sorts of drugs like MDMA and all of those sorts of things that actually are legal and not we're not allowed to take, and generally have a bad name because they're misused and abused by people for highs, and they become addictive and create problems for people. But it has been found in studies that some of these drugs could possibly be natural remedies for mental health disorders. And I wanted to look a little bit at that today, because the pharmaceutical companies have actually been looking into the possibilities of using these, and it seems that they've come back with the answer through studies that they could actually be beneficial in stopping and actually reducing mental health disorders, so much so that you wouldn't actually be diagnosed with something because it would be affecting you to such a minor extent. However, they can't make very much money out of hallucinogenics, and they'd rather make money out of things that they can develop and basically sell to us. They don't really want us to be cured, do they? Because if you've got a customer who's cured, you've got a customer who's dead to you. They're not going to come back. And this happens in lots of different environments. If a company can sell you a washing machine that never goes wrong, then they've just lost a customer. So there is always built-in obsolescence with items you buy in the shops. And it does appear from my research and looking into these things mildly that the pharmaceutical companies realise that the drugs that they supply, like Prozac and all these other things, they are chemically made and developed by them, so they get all the money for that, and then they're sold by them to us, so they get the money for that as well. It even seems to be a case where some drugs are now gone out of their patent date, which means that the pharmaceutical companies can't make so much money from them, are actually being shelved, and they're not wanting to use those now. So then they're now moving on to other drugs that they can freshly patent and sell to us. And that's why you seem to hear all these different names of drugs that you can hardly pronounce them, can you? Because they're so complicated. We need to be aware that it's not a surprise that the government, pharmaceutical companies and big corporations have actually got profit as their main goal. What I believe that we could take from this is that maybe there are other ways to cure ourselves. I'm not saying go and pop magic mushrooms, but I think there's lots of healthy remedies in natural resources and natural healthy products that we have around us. So let's have a little look at it and see what we found. So this is by Rick Doblin, founder and executive director of the Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies, and the source is The Guardian. Survivors of PTSD may struggle to stay connected to their work, families and communities. They often live with symptoms like insomnia, hypervigilance and isolation. They carried out MDMA-assisted therapy, which is hallucinogenics and basically drugs. And they used on sufferers of PTSD, and they found that 88% of participants who received MDMA in conjunction with trauma-focused therapy experienced a clinical significant reduction in symptoms. Normally, when it's normal drugs, the percentage is nothing like that. There's normally side effects with addiction and other things. In fact, even suicidal thoughts can be a side effect of some drugs that you're given to take, which is never very good if they're given to take for depression, is it? And notice it was used in conjunction with therapy, and some people started to have remissions from their mental health disorders, which is encouraging. The use of drugs to help us, whether they're prescribed drugs or whether they do start to help us with these hallucinogenics, eventually when they're regulated and if they do get used, or if we just help ourselves by using healthy food. It's very important, I think, to start to recognise that we need to do therapy and we need to do actual work as well, because we live in a society where we're all consumers, aren't we? We always want to buy the next thing, subscribe to this, get that, and we're quite happy, aren't we, just to take drugs and just keep on taking them and taking them and taking them without noting that there could be long-term side effects. Over this last year, they've published 4 separate systematic reviews highlighting the potential assistance and help from psychedelic assisted therapies for those conditions and more. So many conditions, PTSD, depression, loads and loads of all the things that we're all struggling with basically. And there's also uses for other things such as end-of-life care, brain injury, neurodegenerative disorders, mood disorders, and addiction or dependence. So it does seem that there's a value in researching these psychedelic drugs more and seeing if they could be cultivated and used to help people. Dozens of studies make a compelling case for rapid expansion of research into the psychedelic assisted therapies for serious mental health conditions. So it would be really good if the pharmaceutical companies were to heavily look into these things, because some of these hallucinogenic drugs can actually provide remissions, cures, and real healthy changes in people's lives. But instead, obviously, we're pumped out all the normal drugs. And the normal drugs that we're given are addictive and they don't really create a cure. From a pharmaceutical company's point of view, which want to make money out of us, they create an addiction so we buy more. They definitely don't want them to create a cure because they've lost a customer. That doesn't make sense in business, does it? So you've got 2 opposing forces here, haven't you? You've got big business and human beings wanting to have a better quality of life and be healed. If I can find a better quality of life for myself and also to help other people, then I'd really like to be able to do that, because I think we deserve that, don't we? So you might be thinking, like I did, why don't pharmaceutical companies want to just help us? Well, obviously they are business, they want to make money from us, but surely in the long run it would be better to cure people and to make people healthy and make people enjoy their life and find love and meaning in the basic and simple things. We think nowadays that we are so lucky and we live in this wonderful world of technology all around us, can do everything and make our life so wonderful. We can just do anything at the touch of a button. And it's amazing. But so many people are actually unhappy. And so many people now have got mental health disorders and mental health problems. Why are people not particularly happy? Are you really happy in your life? I sometimes feel a little bit under pressure to technology and to all the things going around. And I think that if we were able to look at natural things, and I really hate natural things, I'm always like organic, natural stuff that I love chips and this, that and the other. I love gadgets, I like the future, I like all that nonsense. But really, if we were able to actually find some cures in natural remedies and doing healthy things for our bodies, and we were able to awaken ourselves to realise that the world is beautiful and that there are people out there that we can spend our time with and give love and receive love back for. And enjoy the natural things like going for a walk and keeping healthy and those things, eating healthy things, making our own food, drinking water. That isn't really an ideal consumer for the big brand markets. That's not really what they want us to be like. They want us to be depressed, down, looking for the next fix, the next iPhone, the next, I don't know, whatever. Recently, I turned my notifications off on my phone, except when it rings, and it's amazing. You would think you can't do it, but when you actually do it, it's incredible. I just check my phone when I'm ready. Might be every 15 minutes or so, see if I've had a message. I don't have people going, I message you, where are, because they know that's the way I am and I don't always check my phone. But it's so good to be able to have a fresh conversation with a person, a human being, and beep beep, your phone going off in the background, triggering something in your brain, thinking, who's that? What's that? And if you get intrusive thoughts, you start thinking the worst. So really, what I'm talking about today, and we're going to go on to do diet and all sorts of other things, is let's be aware and let's think about what's going on around us. Realise who we really are in the scheme of things. We're nobody to these big companies. We're just consumers, aren't we? But we're human beings and we've got feelings and compassion and all of these things. We're so busy in life that sometimes I think we forget this. Thanks again for watching. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up please, and that will help promote the video to other people to see. And also, I'd love it if you subscribe and keep up to date with the videos that I'm trying to do. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good day. Take care. God bless.